Today's coverage brought to you by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. Today we're here at Wolf Creek Golf Club in Mesquite, Nevada. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports, set to bring you all the action out on the course. And Frank, what can you tell us about Wolf Creek?
Well, it's a mesmerizing layout. You can see from above, Rich, in amongst all these sort of canyon areas and boulders and that. I've never really seen a golf course like this. It's like Disneyland for the golfers. It's phenomenal, and each hole has a totally different look. It's hard to imagine you can build a golf course in an area like this.
Here at the first and ready to get this round underway. How do you handle the 597 yards from the back tee here on the par 5, Frank?
The elevated tee, Rich, tee it high and let it fly. Get it down there far enough so you can reach this par 5 and 2. There is a little bit of water down the right-hand side. Really, that shouldn't come into play unless you're got into a spot of bother off the tee. But a good drive down there. Hopefully avoid those 11 bunkers that surround this hole. And it's easy to see where the green is because it's right underneath that rock crop behind it.
This is when the game is fun, Frank, when you get one high in the air and you have a down breeze and you just watch it stays in the air forever.
Yeah, the hang time on that.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Well, that was a big, bold strike, and now a chance for a big, bold move. Putt for eagle coming up. So, 2 under early on. Frank, you need to be a bit of a rock climber just to get to this second tee. 445-yard hole. What a view. Frank, I think that's going in the bunker.
Looks like it.
Somehow that managed to miss the bunker, Frank.
Yeah, that looked like it was sand for sure.
So going well up the hill to that green, will need to take an extra club here. Terrific golf shot, and now that for an easy birdie. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. No problems early, looks good.
It does look good. This bodes well. We might be in for a very, very low round today.
Well, she just played a wonderful shot from back there. Frank going for another birdie here.
Just to get on a real roll.
Drops another birdie and moves to 4 under on the day. Here at the fourth, 383 yards from the back tee. It's a dogleg right, but Frank, looking at all of those bunkers, you could really make a mess of this hole if you stray.
You can. That's why you've got to simplify it. Just something there that's going to find the fairway. Even like 3-wood and a wedge, that's really all this hole's going to require. Avoid the canyons on the left and in the desert, as well as just, I don't know how many bunkers there is on the right side. So a little bit of fairway up the left, find that there, and really, you should be looking at a birdie putt.
Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. That is classy.
A chance of going in.
Frank, 2 is nice, but
3 is even better.
Starting to feel it. 2 in a row. 5 under for the tournament. Now to the par 5 fifth hole. Cut it over the ridge here, Frank?
Well, if you can, if you dare. And there is actually a stream here. I know we're in the middle of a desert, but if you can clear that stream, that's the main thing. This is a crazy-looking tee shot because it looks like you want to go down that that canyon area, but if you don't know the exact distance you fly the ball, then you're going to be in lots and lots of problems. Those collection of 3 bunkers down the right side, as long as you can avoid that, then that second shot to this par 5, that's not overly long, it's just under 500 yards, is certainly reachable. Second shot will play uphill to a elevated green with, once again, 3 different levels.
Appears to be tracking well. Frank, that is how it's done.
Yeah, take a gross of those. That is a lesson in itself.
And now a chance for eagle. So with that make, now at 7 under par. Frank, standing on the 6th tee and looking out at this golf course, I can't help but think that if you hit it offline here, you're going to be playing golf with the billy goats.
Yeah, you might actually turn into a billy goat come the end of the day, that's for sure. The huge elevation changes, once again, are apparent here at the 6th. Tis a dogleg to the right, not really a driver unless you want to sort of bring that creek into play or that little stream that cuts across. Second shot, a little bit uphill. Those bunkers are really where you shouldn't go, we all know that. And this green is anything other than flat. A fun-looking hole, too, and a fun hole to play.
Looking to keep it going here, Frank.
Yeah, another example of things just working as they should.
On the green in regulation. Getting set now over the putt. Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie. And what a day it's been. Now on to the par 4 7th hole. Is this a reachable par 4, Frank?
Distance-wise, you would think so, but the designer has done something to avoid that, and that's put all this water in front of the green. It would take a mammoth tee shot, and that's something like 300 yards through the air if you're going to try and even drive this green. Is the risk worth it? Well, if you're just playing with your friends, maybe it is. Otherwise, you just lay it up, just past those those bunkers on the right and the left, get it down there on the flat. A little pitch, you would think is simple, but because of the slope of this fairway, chances are you might not get a flat lie, and it's going to make that second shot that much harder.
So the eagle goes begging. He still has this for birdie. Nudge this one home, finish it up. That is a handful. 5 birdies now for the round. What a day. Par 3 8th, 248 yards down to the green. What a hole.
Yeah, maybe you put your 2 hands together, make a little prayer. You might make 2, but make 3 here and run to the next tee. This is it's just a gorgeous par 3. But it is tough. Every bit as tough as what it is pretty, as a matter of fact.
Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. That would be a great look at birdie. Frank, this would jumpstart the round. A 3rd straight birdie.
Some good playing.
rolling the rock, Frank.
Oh, and yet another birdie, Rich. Beautiful stroke.
Stepping up to the shot here at the 9th, it's a par 4, 390 yards.
It is anything other than straight off the tee because of all these sort of undulations and curvature on the fairway. You'd think well bunkered, but the last bunker on the right side there, longer hitters, they can nearly fly that, just over 300 yards. Either that, shorter hitter, just play that fat area of the green. That'll be sort of some, 270 yards. That will take all the water out of play into a green that slopes back at you. So very good chance, even with a wedge in hand, to get the ball close. A good way to finish the front 9.
Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Just a couple of feet. Well, in the words of the late, great baseball commentator for the Yankees, Phil Rizzuto, it's time for Holy Cow, Whitey. That's 11 under par. Frank, not only is this a beautiful golf course to look at, but it's fun to play because you can hit it ridiculously long.
Off an elevated tee, altitude, warm air, at times the ball will just feel like it's going to go forever. But sometimes in golf too, it's still about controlling distance. So it's fine to hit a driver a long way, but second shots can be very, very difficult because if you're hitting a short iron, it's hard to control that distance. And in the end, it's still about how close you hit it to the flag. Factor in that too, the putting on all these greens, which is very, very difficult. But that's why Wolf Creek, it's an experience to see, fun to play, but difficult to work out.
Up with the big boys now, Frank.
We saw that previous tee shot go 310. This one's further.
This one will play a little bit longer. It's up the hill to that green. Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. Just a superb shot.
You're not going to see much better than that all day today.
Starting to put the hammer down, Frank. This would be 5 in a row.
What? 5 straight?
5 straight birdies. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. We're here at the downhill par 3 11th hole. Frank, it's 215 yards from the back tee.
This hole certainly is not for the faint of heart. When you look at that tee shot, you think, oh my God, what do I do from here? But remind yourself, it's 215 yards and really only about 160, 170 yards to green grass again. But it's 215 yards. That should be the club that you're trying to pick. Green's big enough, just persuade yourself that. Try not to look at the canyon and the desert. There is a green down there. The hole is playable.
Well, that's how you do it. Hit it close, take the pressure off that putt. That one should be no problem.
Rich, I'm starting to lose count. This is just birdie after birdie.
It's all-time stuff. I mean, this is territory we just don't visit very often. Ooh, that hurts. Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. So they'll tap in. Did the job right there. Par 5, 12th, and Frank, another reminder that Wolf Creek can really be intimidating.
It can. Water down the left. They'll take a huge dent off your scorecard. A lot of fairway down the right. Somehow find that. This par 5 can be reachable, and 2, there's still trouble to the right of this green if you get a little bit cavalier. This, without doubt, the longest green on the golf course. It's 55 yards from front to back.
Frank, it makes the game easy when you play it from the fairway.
Especially when you play it from a lie like that.
And now the second shot here at this par 5. Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
What an outstanding shot that was.
Got the right result, too. It's just a tapping.
Huge chance to climb the leaderboard. Putt for eagle. Making it look easy for eagle. Now to the 13th hole, and, I don't know, should we just fly it over the mountains, Frank?
It looks like that, but then you better find dry land. 350 yards, but as the crow flies, it's probably just a little over 300 yards. I don't know if the mere mortals would really want to flash it across that desert ridge. You probably want to play a little left of it, have a little pitch up the hill. But if you're one of the longer hitters, why not just try it, see if you can make it.
Well, they claim it's a reachable par 4. We haven't seen a whole lot of people do it today. We just saw it right there. Well done. Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
Settles in over the putt. Didn't think this was possible, but 15 under par already. Frank, describe the layout here at the 14th hole. It's 444 yards, and what a beautiful hole.
It is, and it's a beautiful view. You see everything from the top of that tee there. It's a hole that keeps bending to the left. There's enough bunkers down the left there to actually take your eye. That's why you've got to fixate on something in the distance that's a much better line than worrying about that wall of sand down the left side.
That is tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there. Safely on deck.
Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a formality now.
Bang, bang, back-to-back birdies. Now to the par 3 15th hole here at Wolf Creek. Frank, this is the shortest hole on the course.
And their version of a postage stamp type hole, minus the bunkers on the right side. Green elevated, falls off as you can see down the left side. Club selection is vital, but it is such a short hole. It's very, very tempting, especially when that flag's on the left side, to still go at it. But you miss this green on the left, and you are going to be considerably lower than the level of this green.
Inside of 10 feet, really dialed in. Frank, 2 is nice, but
3 is even better. Great, too.
Beautiful. Now to the 16th hole, and Frank, another good scoring chance.
If you can avoid the confusion off the tee, it looks like the hole might be a dogleg, then is it a carry? It meanders from one way to the other, but really when you actually break the hole down, it's virtually straight ahead. Those 2 bunkers in the driving distance, they frame the hole nicely, so play it as a straightaway par 4. It should set up beautifully for just a little short iron and perhaps a birdie opportunity.
I mean, that is a sight to behold. What a spectacular shot we just saw on the par 4 with a drive in one. That is an excellent lag putt right there. Had the speed perfectly. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Always love to hear the sound of the bottom of the cup. Now to the 17th, par 5 here at Wolf Creek Golf Club.
Yeah, dogleg left. Tee shot obviously has to be played short of that creek down there. It's still going to be a reachable hole, even though this hole's sort of around the 550, 560 mark. But because you've got to play short of that stream, it's going to leave a lengthy second shot, and you've got to get the distance right on the button.
Nothing to argue about there, right in the fairway.
Second shot. This looks like it's going to find the target.
Big swing right there, and a great result. And now a chance for a big swing in momentum with an eagle coming up. Finishing holder at Wolf Creek is only 307 yards. Frank, where's the trouble here?
Short and to the right of this par 4. Really, there's a multitude of options off this tee. You could hit an iron, you could hit a fairway wood. Even some might try and hit a driver, but that's a little too risky. There's too many problems up ahead if you try and take this hole on. Really, a short club off the tee, leaving yourself some area of 100, 70 yards, and you're going to be putting for birdie more often than not.
That was a big, bold strike, and now a chance for a big, bold move. Putt for eagle coming up. Always two components to the long lag putt, the speed, number one, and then the read. And missed out on that second part. Continues to amaze, yet another birdie, and what a day it's been. Frank, that was just a dazzling display of golf today.
It's amazing how a game at times that can be so hard and just absolutely drive you crazy can appear to be so simple. This was just an absolute joy to watch today.
So that'll do it for Frank Nobilo and our entire team. I'm Rich Lerner.